got ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
Dick.
If you are somebody who likes to enjoy a nice little beverage, a little bottle of wine with your, a glass of wine with your dinner.
RCA. I put one of their pretend fruits in their lunch the other day because we were out of fruit.
I guess it basically comes down to planning. That's your opinion and you're welcome to have that.
Hang on, there was like 3 people in line. Ran out to the car and I scrounged up $2.69 or whatever for a half a gallon of milk. You do you, boo. Daddy's cough syrup in here somewhere.
I'm not trying to be rude either, I'm just like letting you know. She puts $175 in hers every month because she gets eyelash extensions and waxing done every two weeks. Now, this may be debatable. I used up all the tins that we had in there.
So just do 60, or that'll mess up our budget.
Well, that messes up the whole budget. So this video is basically ruined.
Cheers.
Cheers! We got paid today. First time we've gotten paid since like October.
We've been getting paid every day
That's
on
true.
Facebook Market.
We've been living off selling stuff and other just like stuff like that. Like little amounts coming in here and there.
Why does it smell like Play-Doh?
It smells like stinky something
It
nasty.
smells like clay, like art clay.
It's fake. I actually videoed getting it out of the ATM. So hey, welcome to the video today, guys. I'm Kate.
I'm Cullen.
We're married. We got 2 kids. They are 3 and 5, and we got ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
Dick.
What movie is that from?
Dick and Jane, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or
I guess
See
so.
Dick Run or something like that.
Something like that. If you have not seen any of our videos and this is your first one to watch, you can go back and watch our whole series on our debt disaster. But basically the short rundown is that we started off our marriage 12 years ago, went through Financial Peace University, paid off the very small amount of debt that we had, lived on our cash envelopes, built up our savings account, and then we had 2 kids. Life went to crap. We dealt with a lot of major life events, and we lost track of things. We now have a bunch of debt that we are trying to pay off. Our total debt to pay off is $100,044 or something ridiculous like that. Not counting our
Crazy.
house. We're currently trying to sell our house as well. That's part of the whole thing. So,
I'm still trying to recuperate from yesterday's video mentally, so if y'all haven't seen that, be sure to go check it out.
we had our first budget meeting.
Committee meeting, February meeting, and it went well. We're doing what you call spitballing.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out because we talk about where we got the numbers for all these envelopes that we're stuffing today. We kind of worked through the whole budget together. There were some interesting comments and opinions on all of that. So we want to address some questions and things that we got frequently at the end of this video. So stay tuned if you had any questions from yesterday. I'm the nerd in the relationship and Cullen's the free spirit. I love doing the numbers and like making everything add up, and it's really fun to me. He hates it and it gets annoying to him.
I don't like not hate it,
Yeah.
but like I think yesterday was
It was a lot.
it was a long day.
I mean,
at first from the beginning, drop the kids off at school, and then when you have to go film a podcast and doing what we do behind the scenes and stuff, and already like talking for an hour and thinking about what you're saying and all this
one
stuff.
podcast by itself is just kind of draining.
And then having to come home and do that, and then have a showing right after that, and then get ready for that, and then have to get the. That's why we were delayed a little bit on the upload.
Our brains were already a little bit on overload.
Hey guys, what's up?
It was also the first, which I saw several people say, like the first budget meeting is so hard.
It takes about 3 months.
To like, I was like, that's a long meeting. Well, no, somebody said their first budget meeting was like 2 hours, and then they've gotten it down to where now it's like 20 minutes, and they're like, okay, this, that, and that, okay, we're good. Which is where we had gotten to too, and I think also where we kind of fell off track, because we were like, I mean, we don't need to talk about it. We know what's up, right?
Because it does look
gotta
overwhelming at first, and like some of the comments, again, that we will address, but like there was one that was like, this just looks too overwhelming. Then once you get your system down, it's just like, boom, that goes there, boom, that goes there, boom, that goes there.
And I think that's a lot of times why people are afraid to start in general, because it's like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do all that. But the thing is, you should have kind of been keeping up and knowing where your money was going all along, and when you haven't, taking a step back and looking at it is like, whoa, what just happened? So we're gonna today talk about what all's going in our envelopes and stuffing our envelopes. I went to the bank and got out some money. We had calculated yesterday what all we wanted to put in envelopes to spend for cash. So the way that kind of works is, for us, is we have our paycheck direct deposited into our checking account, and then I went through and calculated what needed to stay in there to pay different bills or to be like distributed to people that we need to pay. The rest of it, we went through and decided what needed to come out in cash and what needed to maybe like stay in there for savings or whatever else. So we ended up with $660 that we're putting in our envelopes today. One thing we talked about yesterday is that our grocery budget is a little bit higher than it's gonna be because, like I said, we hadn't paid ourselves in like 2 months, 3 months. So we are out of a bunch of kind of necessities, or like on the very last of our laundry detergent and our dishwashing detergent, and we've been stretching it out to make it work. So there's a lot of things that need.
Last night I even threw a dollop of sour cream in the pan and made some cream sauce, garlic and butter and
grilling chicken.
Grilled chicken.
And you wanted to, you were like, I want some like creamy sauce to put on these noodles. And in the past, we would have been like, I'm gonna run to the store and get a jar of Alfredo sauce or of whatever. Last night, he was like, we don't even just have anything to make a cream sauce. And I was like, oh, yes, we do. Let's look in the refrigerator. So we had sour cream, and I was like, I'm not sure if you can like cook that into a sauce. So I Googled it. I Googled creamy pasta sauce with sour cream and came up with a recipe, and you made it work.
I made it work.
Like, that's what you call shelf cooking.
I grilled the chicken,
Bay.
chopped it up, and then threw it in the sauce, and then added the noodles, tossed it. It tasted like straight out of a Tuscan goddess restaurant.
It was so good.
That's what it felt like when. That's how we should fill our envelopes up. You just hold them up.
It tasted like it was straight from a restaurant. It really was.
That's good.
But that's one of the things that doing this process and being disciplined with your money shows you. Like, you learn that you can make it work. I saw somebody say something about don't make any small trips to the grocery store after your first one. If you forgot something,
make it work.
You like figure out a way to make it work, because you'd be surprised at how many times you can look in your pantry and figure something out. Right now I'd be like, we have nothing for dinner tonight, but we probably have enough for dinners like for the rest of the week. The things that we need to catch up on are like bread for sandwiches and their lunch boxes.
I put one of their pretend fruits in their lunch the other day because we were out of fruit.
Okay, don't give your kids pretend fruit. But like produce and stuff, obviously stuff like that. And then, like I said, the household.
Well, and the best part about last night is we have leftovers. I have leftovers.
Yeah, you made a bunch.
Yeah, there's enough for you too, I guess I'll share.
That's okay.
But we have leftovers for today too, so
yes.
Eat leftovers. And I went downstairs last night and looked through some of our old boxes and stuff, and we found enough for Valentine's Day gifts for both kids.
Because we're hoarders, which is sometimes a good thing.
Yeah. So.
We had leftover like Valentine's, because most of the Valentine kits are sold for like an elementary school classroom, which is like 20, 30 kids. And our kids' preschool classrooms were like 8 to 10. So we ended up with leftovers, so we saved those.
They already had Love Gains on the back of them too, because you overdid it last year. Because we had the money.
You don't even have to actually buy Valentine's for our kids to do at school, so that's great and that's wonderful. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
People were like, cut out Valentine's Day. You don't have to do Valentine's Day. That's your opinion and you're welcome to have that, but we are going to choose the things that we want.
Well, we're going to do like homemade arts and crafts as well too.
Right. Probably. And somebody commented a really great comment as we were like stuffing these envelopes, just to keep in mind, if you're thinking of your judgmental comment of how we're doing something wrong. I just think the comment was really great that the person said, everybody has to do it in the way that feels right to them, and what you spend different categories on and what you don't spend different categories on is your own decision. She was like, for us, getting through the like year or 2 years of paying off debt, they needed as like a mental boost to have like budget in a eating out budget for once or twice a month and going out to eat dinner. But they decided to not put in any budget for buying any more clothes or buying any like accessories or anything like that. And so that was their choice to do that. Somebody else may be like, no, I want to have the most trendy updated clothes, even if I buy them from the thrift store or whatever, I'll budget them, but I'm not going to eat out. I think that's important.
Everybody's
to consider.
different. Yeah,
for us, holidays, Valentine's Day is important.
Yeah.
So we're going to put that in. I need new contacts, but I'm not buying new contacts right now, so that I can put money towards Valentine's Day for my kids and towards gymnastics for my kids or whatever else. So
I've got contacts, but they bother my eyes, so
yeah,
that was a question.
Yeah, you actually have plenty. He has issues with that. We're gonna answer the other questions from yesterday's video later. So stuffing the envelopes, the first one we have is our grocery one. So that one we had budgeted, like I said, it's gonna be bigger than usual, $400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200.
And I'm in the process. Katie went it through and did all the drawing on it. And the writing, and I'm going through doing all the drawing. I'm gonna color them in like I've done here on this one for like car maintenance and stuff. I drew it and colored it, and she wrote it. So it's a team effort.
So cute. And I know there's all kinds of envelopes you can buy and stuff, and maybe one day we'll get those nice plastic laminated ones so they won't tear up, but for now, gives you a little personal investment to do it yourself. Okay, that was only 200. Okay, so there's 400.
Oh my gosh.
$400.
I'm thinking we can get out of there. Like I said in the last video,
definitely.
It's a game. I can get out of there cheaper than that.
Yes, it's something about like holding the cash in your hand that
Like
makes you go like, shoot, I don't want to give them all this.
Yeah.
I was actually, so when I went to get the money out, I told Cullen before I went, I was like, I'm like scared. I can't just go get that much money out of the checking account, because first of all, previously if I gotten that out, we'd have spent it on some random crap, or the account would have overdrafted or something. But I'm like, I have to trust the budget, like trust the fact that I budgeted it. We spent an hour thinking about everything else that could possibly come out. We have the money in our account for this, unless like, I don't know, I just PTSD from the past year of overdrafts and random
funny
stuff.
Story is...
That is such a cute grocery basket.
Thank you. A funny story is I returned like a $30 back massager thing to Walgreens one night during the start of this whole mental shift and process, and I went in and I returned it, got a gift card in store credit because I obviously didn't have the receipt. So I was like, I got 30 bucks to go in and get like the necessities that we needed at that time, milk and some other stuff. Ended up the milk wasn't gift card redeemable, so my total was a certain amount, but then the cash I owed was like $204 for the milk or something. It was probably more than that, I think.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about buying milk.
All I had was a $50 bill and the gift card. And of course I could have just given her the $50 bill, but it was just like that whole mental, like, I don't want you to hold this and break it up and give it back to me in like smaller bills. Hang on. There was like 3 people in line, and I ran out to the car and I scrounged up $2.69 or whatever for a half a gallon of milk. That just kind of goes back to what you're saying about like, it's just harder to give that cash physically away.
Now you're making me think, should I make this like, split this up and make this like $100 bill in here so we won't just spend it on, no, it's fine. And now I'm confused about what's what. I gotta count this again.
Oh no.
2, 4. All right, this goes in the grocery envelope.
All right, I'm almost done with it.
I was thinking, I was watching the Budget Mom on her envelopes. She's talking about how, like, you know, when she goes to the grocery store, she takes the grocery envelope or whatever. At the time she was a single mom, and so it was like just her. So I thought, do we split this up? Maybe after the initial grocery store.
What do you mean split it up? So you're not carrying so much cash at
once? Well,
once?
I'm just saying so that like, cause sometimes you'll go to the store and get groceries. I guess it basically comes down to planning, and we should know if we're gonna go to the store before we leave the house.
There are those random times where I'm coming home from filming a podcast, I'm like, oh shoot, you may grab
Did we need the, whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Well, and she said she tries to keep her miscellaneous envelope on her at all times, so that if something comes up like that, and then when you get home, you can straighten it back out with where it needed to go. In the meantime, you get your miscellaneous envelope. So I'm kind of thinking we both should keep a miscellaneous, like divide the miscellaneous envelope in half, and both of us keep that amount on us.
How do y'all do that when you go shopping? Like with...
Yeah, if you're a cash person, what do you do about all that? Do you just plan ahead? But I guess that's the thing too, is like I was just saying, you make the big grocery trip and then you don't allow yourself to go back to the store. Yeah. But like with the, man, we just gotta plan. We gotta plan better. Cause I was
we'll
like,
figure it out after
with
the
the
first
kids,
month, you know?
There's times when it's like, oh shoot, the milk ran out and I forgot. And we gotta go back. I don't know. Okay, this goes in there.
Okay.
I need to not hold it. Can you make sure it doesn't?
I will make sure it doesn't fly away.
Car maintenance. So we got our car maintenance one right here. I think Cullen already showed you that. And that one is 50, 20, 40, 50. So in the future, we're gonna have additional envelopes that, I don't know what everybody calls them. I know on the Budget Mom, she calls it sinking funds. I'm not really sure. We talked about this. I don't think you put this in the video.
No, I don't. I think I cut that part out because, I don't know, it was just getting lengthy. But I think those are like the funds that like just kind of sink to the bottom of the envelope pile. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong.
I know what they are, but I just am not sure why that's the term for them. Christmas envelope, for example, would be a sinking fund. Right now, as we're getting our feet back on the ground, as we're kind of getting through paying off this debt, getting current and all that, we don't have like a Christmas envelope right now, which I almost feel like we should, and even just putting $5 in it for the month or whatever.
Yeah.
But right now, it is what it is. We're learning in this process. Car maintenance has $50.
400 going into groceries. Our kids are gonna like seeing these envelopes, so we need to get them on the envelope system, like Rachel Cruz says.
Oh, look, where's that little thing so we could like stand them up in that little... I already had this. I found this downstairs yesterday. This is why we keep all the things. Put like the ones that we use often in the front, put like the do not touch ones in the back.
There we go.
So we used to call things the do not touch envelope, and that would be like, don't take money out of here to switch it if you don't have enough in another category. That would be car maintenance. No reason to use that for anything but car maintenance.
I like this little envelope holder. Yeah.
It's perfect size. And we can just grab them and go. Now, restaurants, eating out.
Eating out.
I called that one eating out because I figured like,
as Dave says though, we should not see the inside of a restaurant unless we're working in there.
Right.
So how do we justify that? Kind of like what you just said in the beginning of the video.
Yes, and I do feel like, so there are some situations that come up where, for example, maybe a friend has a birthday dinner that obviously you can turn it down and say, hey, I can't go, I'm on a budget. Or we can just have a little bit of money set aside that if that comes up, then it's there. Also, I feel like for us, especially right now with selling our house and this whole process, we are doing the absolute best we can to not eat out at all. If you've ever been in the process of selling your house, you know that you're here, there, and everywhere, in and out for showings, taking care of business, paperwork, and all kinds of stuff. And previously, we would have probably been eating out every night for the past month. We're trying our best not to, but I'm just thinking there's gonna be some situations that come up that it's either gonna be necessary or like give ourselves a break for a second. So I would like to budget a small amount.
In the past, we would have justified it every single time with, we won't have to clean up the kitchen for the showing tomorrow. It wouldn't smell up the house for the showing today. It would just be easier to just come home and the kitchen already be clean. And,
or like when you're filming a podcast and on the way home, stopping to pick up lunch. So it's not even necessarily restaurants. That would have been something that would have happened a lot more frequently. We're definitely trying to stop that, but we do feel like at this point in our lives, it is important. So we're putting $25 in there. This is not like we're heading out to, you know, like the gourmet restaurant. We are putting a little bit of money in here in case we need to stop and pick up something at some point. But putting a boundary on it of $25 gives us an idea of what we can and can't do. And if we don't use it,
paycheck, so next time it'll be another 25.
If we don't use it for this paycheck, the next time it'll be 25.
Then we might be going to spend $100 again.
Or, no, we would not do that. We would spend our 30 that we did last time. Or we would be like, okay, at this point, let's take some of this money out and put it towards
we don't need it in there.
You know, we're over budgeting right now. Okay, eating out is 25. I feel like I want to write it on here, what we're starting with. Remember we did that in the past? I'll put it on the back, like what we're starting with, so when we take it out, we'll subtract so that we're not like,
isn't that what for the apps for?
That is what the app is for, yeah. But as far as the envelopes, I don't know. Right now, I'm just gonna write it on here so I don't forget what I put in here.
Okay.
And what's the date?
You do you, boo.
Next is fun. Now, this may be debatable. Let me ask y'all, if you're a cash spender, if you are somebody who likes to enjoy a nice little beverage, a little bottle of wine with a glass of wine with your dinner. A glass of wine with your dinner, or maybe like a mixed drink if you're having a little cocktail because it's the weekend or whatever. Do you consider that a like fun category expense, or does that just go with your groceries? All comes down to like, it doesn't really matter where you put it. I'm just interested to know what other people do. At this point, we've kind of put that in our fun category because to us that's extra.
Wait, isn't there like
and it's fun.
Daddy's cough syrup in here somewhere? I know that's health.
Oh my goodness. So we have our fun category for that, or again, like I said, if something comes up and we have some friends that want to do a play date at the jumpy place, or somebody has a birthday party or whatever, I'm just saying fun is, we got $40 set aside for that right now. And again, we're gonna, you know, try to kind of keep that in line and not totally spend that, but we want to be able to enjoy things a little bit at this point, and you feel free to have your own opinion on that. It is what we are going to do.
Amen, sister.
I'm not trying to be rude either. I'm just like letting you know. The next one that we have is beauty, and this was originally called hair. And then I realized, I was listening to the Budget Mom, and she was saying how she has a beauty envelope, which she puts $175 in hers every month because she gets eyelash extensions and waxing done every two weeks, which is fine, and that's good for her. She's also
awesome.
She's also out of debt and is like, but she's still pinching her pennies so she can save money to pay cash for her house.
Can I just say there were some comments about cutting your own hair and stuff to save, and you've cut my hair several times. You've cut Brooks' hair the past like 3 times.
Brooks, I used to spend $20 a time on a haircut for him, and I've gotten to the point where I never liked it. It never was what I wanted, so
but
I've
people
just
were
been
saying
doing
watch YouTube tutorials on how to cut hair.
Oh, Yeah.
Like maybe I'll
Well,
let you do that.
I would cut your hair. I did cut your hair when it wasn't so short. When you kept it longer, and I could just scissor cut it.
Yeah,
But if you got to
true.
use buzzers, like I need you to get that cut
Yeah,
yourself. There's a lot of things I feel like that we have cut out that it's not quite obvious, and we haven't just been like, oh, by the way, we're not doing this anymore. I cut Brooks's hair. I haven't gotten my hair cut or been to the hair salon since April. You've been cutting my hair.
Yeah.
So my hair is weird, and it doesn't really grow in the front as much as it does in the back. So I get him to just across the back. Side note. Okay, so beauty is what I have in here for haircuts, makeup, anything like that that's a beauty product. I use some self tanner. So of course all of this is things that, like, if we're in a pinch, I can cut out and don't have to do. But for right now, beauty is gonna be 25 is what we're putting in there for now, in case Cullen needs a haircut. I can make it on the makeup that I have for a minute.
Because I'm beautiful too.
You are beautiful. You need beauty as well.
Have you seen her Instagram pic? I was wearing lipstick.
Okay, so the next one is school. Oh, you're on school extras. I'll skip that one for now. Next one, I'm really kind of mad at myself that I put $15 as an option because I didn't get out 5s. So I had 2 5s that I've already used, but we have $15 in the pets category and $15 in the miscellaneous category right now. It's not able to be distributed.
We got 5s in the
Where?
safe.
I took them out and used them. I
All
used
of
them for restaurants and hair. So I don't know what to do about that. I'm gonna have to wait a minute. Let's skip over to health. So as we mentioned, this is for like our routine prescriptions that we get, plus any vitamins or whatever else needs to be gotten, and that's 50. And again, I don't have any 10s. I used up all the 10s that we had in there.
So just do 60, or that'll mess up our budget.
That messes up the whole budget. I need to put 50 in one, and I need to put 15 in 2 others, and I
So
got
I
all
need to go
20s.
to the bank and get change on the way home.
Yeah, so this video is basically ruined. I'm just kidding. I can't think of anywhere else to like make some $5 bills appear.
Bend over.
They don't come out of my butt.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, basically here's our help one. We're putting $50 in that. So y'all just imagine that I'm putting $50 in here. There's
Do
actual
40
cash
and then write on a note.
that we need to add 10.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I can split up a 20 into like 4 or 5 or something.
Guess what I found today? My little tiny post-it notes that I have been needing. So now I don't have to have big post-it notes all over the place. I just have little
Yeah.
ones. So we are gonna add 10 to that. See, this is what happens when this is your first time to do this in a minute, and it takes some adjusting to. Pets is supposed to be 15, and then miscellaneous is supposed to be 15, and then Valentine's Day is supposed to be 50. So we got a bunch of 20s.
You should have told the bank
So for Valentine's Day, I'm gonna
to
put
give
40.
you back 10s and 5s.
Well, I got them out of the ATM is the problem.
Oh.
And I remember that always being a problem in the past. It's so much easier just to go to the ATM, so I'm gonna try to make it 20 base.
So you could say I need it back in 10s and 5s next time.
Yeah.
Or 20s and 5s and 10s.
So Valentine's Day, I'm gonna put need 10. We'll have 10 that'll go into Valentine's and 10 that'll go into the health one. And then miscellaneous and pets, a 20 in one of them. We're just gonna get these done and split them up. Okay, so there you go. Here's our envelopes.
Okay.
That's it. That's
What
all
about
of them.
school?
Oh, and,
I'm on that one right here.
oh, well, I got a 20 for
So
that
here's
one.
this one. I'm working on the drawing of that. Making a little schoolyard.
So you put your 20 in that. Did I miscalculate something? Is this not 660? Oh, you know what I did is Valentine's Day, I hadn't calculated it into the 660. We said we'd leave that in the checking account because we were, I don't remember why we said that.
Honestly, after finding the stuff last night, we don't need that much, do we?
That's true. We don't need 50. I mean, I want to get the kids maybe like $10 each of just like little stuff that they,
Or dollar store probably.
yeah, little dollar store
yeah.
stuff. And maybe like a little card or something. So we'll reassess that amount and get back to y'all on that. Also, yesterday we talked about doing the $100 gas cards so we could use cards at the pump instead of cash. And I haven't gotten those yet, so I gotta get those too. And we'll add those to our stash. But basically, here are our envelopes. That school is looking so cute. Look how like good Cullen is. Did you show him the grocery one when you finished it?
I did, I think.
Like,
I don't know,
it's
did I?
so good. You are such the artiste. I love it.
I'm the free spirit. This is
Love
my.
it. You're
This is
the
what I
free
like to
spirit.
do.
Okay.
Yeah. So husbands, get on your artist caps and start coloring stuff.
Hey, just because you're the husband that likes to color, it might be the wife that likes to
Or
color.
wives. I'm just.
I like to write the words. I would love to do like hand lettering. That's a whole separate thing. Okay, let's get to the second half of this. So those were our envelopes. Real quick, I just wanted to cover a couple of questions that were asked several times in yesterday's video when we were doing our first budget meeting. And
still several more more that I haven't even approved. Like there's tons.
Oh yeah, there's tons of comments. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. It's been, like we've said before, because of YouTube's like regulations and stuff, some people have comments turned off. We're allowed to have ours on, but we do have to moderate and read every single one to make sure it's okay before we approve it. So we are doing that. As I said yesterday, if there's any negativity or rudeness or judgmental behavior, I just don't approve those. And sometimes I'll block people because we get to choose the type of energy that we have on our own channel. It's basically like our own house, and I wouldn't let somebody stay in my house or come in my house if they were talking bad about my kids or my family. That's our decision, and we just like to keep it positive. I'm not saying everybody has to be super nice and like wonderful and say that we're wonderful. It's not that. There's just a nice way to say some things, and there are ways that are just not necessary. So we just
and I would
let
say
those go.
For the most part, everything has been wonderful.
No, it definitely has. I think the budget one though has brought out more of the opinions.
Yeah.
Because when you start talking about your actual money, how much you're spending, how much you're making, people who feel differently about money may not agree with you. So they're gonna have opinions, and some people get personally attached and fired up and angry when it's not even their situation. That's part of, y'all go listen to my podcast on codependency if you want to hear a little bit more about that. But anyways, we're not letting it get to us. We are just letting you know that we're moderating some of that.
And tons of helpful comments.
So many helpful comments.
Golly.
Yes, like thank y'all so much for all the help.
Like it's unbelievable seeing all the library card suggestions, the Costco gift card gas suggestions. I guess that was the library Hoopla, and other apps. Gas saving money apps was another one.
Yeah, gas saving money and grocery saving, like all those different apps. And just the encouragement too, and sharing your stories. Like I said, the girl who was like, our first budget meeting was 2 hours and now they're only 20 minutes and we've gotten it down to a science. So that kind of encouragement is so helpful because it shows us, like, for one, nobody is saying like y'all are doing everything wrong, it's awful. It's basically just kind of confirmation of it's gonna take some figuring out, and we're learning, and it does get better. So, and
a lot of people doing it for the first time with us. So yes. This is good.
Yes, we're loving hearing y'all going on this journey with us. So the first question that I'm gonna try not to spend a lot of time on, but it's the one that I feel like responding to the most, is when people make a comment, which of course you're welcome to your opinion, but that we need to take our kids out of school or not pay for any like after school care or whatever else. That's fine if that's your opinion. If you have a job, or if you have kids, I would encourage you to imagine, what would you do if somebody said you should take your kids out of school and take them to work with you, take them to the office? How would that go for you? What would your boss say? Would your boss approve of that? And how much work would you actually get done? So I know it seems to some people that like, oh, y'all just work from home and you could have your kids home with you. Like, okay, they could, and they could just watch TV all day and whatever while we're working. We wouldn't get anything done. Like, we wouldn't be doing these videos, and Cullen wouldn't be doing his podcast. I would say in theory it sounds doable, but in reality it's not. How often do they sit there for 5 minutes maybe and watch their show, and you're like, yes, this is working, and then I need a snack, I need water, I need to go potty. But regardless, and I don't want them to be sitting there watching TV all day. They're involved in.
Well, and then the other thing was like, well, why don't y'all divvy up your responsibility? Like, you do this while Cullen takes care of the kids, and half the time I'm doing the editing and the other stuff, she's responding to emails and working on her channel and stuff.
We're both literally working the entire time. There's the school extras. That one's very cute. We're working, and I would also challenge you to think about, like, at your job, I'm sure there is some downtime when you're maybe eating your lunch, or maybe you are like talking to a coworker or whatever else. It's not, I don't know. It's business and it's work, and just because our office is at our home and we work in our home doesn't mean that it makes sense for our kids to be here. I know we don't have to justify our decisions. I just am kind of trying to answer this question so that it doesn't keep getting asked.
Well, and something you touched on in the previous videos was the cost effectiveness of hiring a babysitter for those hours versus keeping them in school, because it does seem like a huge expense for the aftercare and
but it's really kind of not.
But like when you divvy it up, we did the math, you're spending more per hour for a babysitter. Plus, half the time you're having to like text with the babysitter and like figure out
you're figuring stuff out
issues and that kind of stuff. And
relying on somebody else to keep your kids is nice and all, but other people get sick, and if a teacher gets sick at school, they still have school. The whole main underlying thing is that they're in a really great program. Gaines is in kindergarten. She was not eligible because of her birthday to do public school kindergarten. We do not have public school preschool here either. So if you're gonna send your kids to preschool, you're gonna pay for it. And if she's gonna go to kindergarten right now, it's gonna be paid for. But they're learning a ton. They're in an environment where they're actually being taught stuff. So it's not like they're just going, I don't know, I shouldn't even have to justify, because I don't judge anybody whose kids are going to somewhere where they're not learning.
I will say after next year, there will be a lot easier on the wallet.
But they love school, they love learning, and for us, the structure and consistency of them going to school every day and doing the school stuff that they do has been incredible for them. Sure, we have family and friends who are willing to help with the kids or keep them if we needed to save money. But this is the best decision for us and our family right now, for our kids to be in a structured preschool and kindergarten program. That's what we're gonna do. That's our decision. Thank you very much. I'm trying not to be rude about it. I'm honestly just answering the question because I know people people keep asking about it.
Mic drop.
Drop it. And the other thing was cutting out gymnastics. And maybe this is people who haven't been around for a while that are suggesting this. Gaines has been doing gymnastics since she was a year old. She's worked very hard on it. She feels very passionate about it. It's something that she has progressed in. She's 5.5 or almost 5.5 now. She's been doing it for 4 years or something, and has worked hard to get to where she is. I'm willing to make sacrifices that I need to make so that she can continue that. It's just not necessarily something that's dropping that would be even really on our radar, because it's a place she's been, it's something she's involved in. She's passionate about it. Like, I'd hate to tell you to take yourself out of whatever you're doing as your little side thing, because
we have stopped doing the karate with Brooks.
Yeah, we did stop karate because
that just started getting
those costs were excessive.
Hidden fees here and there, and left and right.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
He absolutely loved it, but
in the beginning, and then he started having some issues with it.
And then since he stopped before Christmas, I think it was, he hadn't mentioned it since.
There were just some issues, and it wasn't the best environment for him. So we will readdress that in the future. I do want my kids to be able to be involved in sports, and the cost of it in relation to our income and the debt we're paying off and everything else, I'm glad to make sacrifices in other places if I need to. We're making our budget work out the way that's best for us and our family. Also on tithing, several people were like, I think you can cut that out. It's a little bit much to give, and we have to go on our beliefs as Christians that we tithe 10% of our income. People started saying, I don't think Dave recommends that until later steps. And so it made me go like, well, let me just go check. And so I looked. He says you should be giving in some way, but when it comes to tithing, it's more of a spiritual discussion than a financial discussion, because tithing isn't about the money, it's about the heart. It's living with the attitude that we are blessed to be a blessing. My belief is that God gives us the money that we make, and it's not our money, it's his money anyway, so we're giving back a portion of that. One of the other things that Dave said on a different page, he said, even if you're in debt or walking through a rough financial situation, tithing should still be a priority. While it's tempting to throw that money at debt, the discipline and faith that tithing brings is so worth it. Even when you're paying down debt, you can still have an attitude of giving and be generous. If you think it'll take a miracle to get through the month with 10% less in your wallet, you might need to do a lifestyle check, take a look at your budget, find ways to cut, yada, yada, yada. But basically just the whole, like, it's tempting, but the discipline and the faith that it takes to continue to tithe when you're in a rough financial situation is an incredible lesson. Like, the more that we've been faithful with our money, the more things have happened that we're like, whoa, how did that even add up?
Yeah.
Like, even with our Get Current, I thought we were still a couple $1,000 behind, and then I added it up last night. I was like, oh my gosh, we only have $400 to go.
Yeah.
What the heck? There's that. That's something that we're gonna do, and of course, that's our belief, and that's.
I totally get that thought process and mindset though, because in the beginning, because I didn't grow up in going to church every single day or every single Sunday as much as you did and that kind of thing, but you were just taught by your parents, and that's one of the things is like we always repeat things that our parents did. One, because it's just one of the natures of the habit, I guess, that they created in us. It also reminds us of them, I think, too, a little bit. But like, I was never taught that necessarily. But then, like, I remember the first time you were writing on this check, $200 on every Sunday. I was like, we don't have that money. Like, what are you doing? And then I would just kind of forget about it. I was like, okay, well, she's the nerd. I'm just like, I assume we got that money somewhere. And then come to find out, we'd get it back later in some random way. Like the insurance company will call and say, hey, I owe you $300 from the last 2 years ago that just came through. And it's just like, what?
Which is what happened to us recently. So I think it shows your faith and your dedication. It's a learning thing. It's also just the whole to whom much is given, much is required. It's also when you start doing it when you have less money, the easier it is to do as it gets bigger. Because like if you're only say making like $1,000 a month and you're like, there's no way I can take out $100. Well, when you're making maybe $5,000 a month and you're trying to take out $500, then that seems huge. And you're like, golly, I should have done it when it was only 100. But the more you get used to just that 10% is just gone. Like you don't even account it into what you're making, then you're being faithful, you're fulfilling your obligation, and there you go. That's that. Those were the questions we wanted to answer.
I'm just drawing cats and dogs over here. I'm working on this pet envelope.
Just last night when it was going through and I wanted to respond and I was like, there's so many of the same question. Let me just address this in a video. So I'm gonna go to all those people and be like, watch tomorrow or watch the next video and it'll be in there. Thanks for being patient with me as I've talked through my processes.
You're welcome. I hope y'all understood everything she said, and I hope you enjoyed my drawings. The
next video, because we didn't get to it in this one, we're gonna give y'all an update on our Get Current, where we are, how much we've sold, how much money we've made selling things, and where all of the money has come from.
I could do like I could create an outline on Facebook Market, like posting.
You could. And, like, people want to see that.
Yeah, I should do that.
How to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Like, tips and tricks that I've learned over the past few months on selling stuff.
Come back for that. If there's any questions or things that you want us to address in a video, feel free to leave it in a comment. And I'm keeping like a little screenshot folder of things that people have said y'all want to hear about in videos. So let us know. Thank y'all for the support, for watching. We're really excited to be on this journey and mess up a little bit, learn some lessons from it, and then keep going.
She's got her graphing calculator out today. She's gonna go to the store now. Are you headed there now?
I don't know if I'm going there right now. I've got some work to do. I'm gonna probably do that on time, like not work hour. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not gonna do it right this minute. I know you want food. I'm gonna go today, okay? I'll go later.
We do need it before the morning with all the, we're out of bread.
Yeah, we're out of bread for their sandwiches.
Bread.
I know, but I've got work to do. I have emails to do, and I gotta film or record a podcast and all that stuff. So even though we
gotta eat dinner too.
Yeah.
I would go.
We have plenty of stuff for dinner in there. Remember I just said that?
Well, I'm talking about for tomorrow morning.
No, I know. We do need like bread to make sandwiches, and we're out of mayo and all that stuff. So
I'm about to eat this pin.
I'm gonna go to the grocery store. It's gonna be okay.
When?
And I'm gonna explain to y'all how I'm gonna do it. We gotta go. We'll work out our schedule.
That might be the next video. Is your grocery shopping haul? I don't know.
Basically, he's saying I need to go to work at the grocery store today. All right, thank you for watching. We will
see you later. Bye.